Hey, what's up? I hope everything's going good. I've been meaning to make this video for you guys. Um, so I'm gonna try to break it down really fast in like four minutes. I can do it in 4 minutes. So, a story about my first world title. Um, so I guess the big thing was it was very important to me because I had actually worked really hard for about 7 years. It took me about 7 years to win a world title, um, and there was a process to it. Um, I'd go on to Super Grands and been on stage and got second, and then got second, got second, and second. Uh, and the year before I won my world title, I was actually on stage, and I got second back to back to back 3 times. And I was actually, I had a little girlfriend at that time, and I remember she said to me, she said, well, some people are just meant to get second in life, and that's okay, and everything. And I kind of accepted that in 2015 for the first few, probably the first few months, and then um, I didn't really compete in 2015, and then it was Doug Armstrong's tournament. I just got this wire, and I said, I got to compete. I got to do it for myself. And I competed, and that fire like instantly turned on, and I dumped that chick. And I tell people like this: you got to have people in your life that support you, believe in your dream, and push you to be better. And if they're not doing that, guess what, dude? Get them out of your life because they are a cancer, and they will tear you down, and you will never become great. You will never become great. You are who you hang out with, and that's like I said. I've had the best karate team in the whole entire world, and I know you guys had the best karate team in the world because it's a group of people that you put around that want to be successful, that want to go somewhere, that want to strive to be better. So I remember I called my team and I said, "Let's go to Super Grands." He said, "You ain't got no seat." I said, "We're gonna go wild card and win. Let's do it." So I had actually got fat. I was like 217 pounds, and I remember I literally disciplined myself for 4 weeks. I ate oatmeal, chicken, broccoli, and sweet potato, an apple, a protein shake, and then a protein shake before I went to bed for 4 weeks. And that's all I ate. I did not do anything else. And I disciplined myself. I went from 217 to 185 pounds. And my arch nemesis, Tim Conkle, man, he used to smoke my butt. I mean, just smoke me, beat the mess out of me. And I used to get so frustrated. And I was actually, 2014 was probably my best year as where my levels went up. Um, but I just didn't follow through, and I dealt with the pressure really bad. So um, 2015 comes, and I'm at the end of the year, and I started training like the 1st of October. I had trained all year and started doing that and getting back in shape and everything. And I did it differently, though. I did it for me. Did it for me. And and I just started training and enjoying it and to up my level and I held myself to a standard. And what I didn't know at the time was I was training to beat myself. That was the thing. I was training to beat myself. And I didn't realize that at the standard. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that at the time because I was keeping the standard. And every time I trained, I hit that standard. I was beating myself because it sucked to hit that standard, dog. I'm going to tell you what, man. I'd be throwing up outside. And I tell people this: you ain't really trained until you make yourself puke. You don't really train until you make yourself puke. You ain't hitting no standard until you make yourself puke. So, and maybe after watching this video, go work hard, make yourself puke. You'll be like, oh man, I feel miserable. But after you do that, you're gonna be at a whole nother level. So, anyways, um, I actually had torn my knee in 2014 and couldn't get a surgery, and so 15 I had this tear in my knee, right? And that's what I used as an excuse, kind of, not to train. Oh, my knee. Oh, shut up, Misty. You're just a sissy. You just want to find an excuse. You just lazy. That's how you have to talk to yourself. Um, so I put all the excuses outside the box, and I say, you know what, I'm going to be world champion. I'm going to be world champion. And we went down to Corky's in October, and we were down there just hanging out with my best friend Seth. And Corky comes up to me and goes, y'all been training? And me and my teammate looked at each other, and we said, well, we'll be doing a little something. And I'll never forget it. He looked me right in the eye, and because Corky told me a long time ago, he said, "Yule, this your calling in life, man." And I'll never forget that. And he looked me right in the eye, and he said, "Yule, you ain't done nothing in your life till you wild card and win a world title." he said, "You're going to get it. You just got to go get it." So I had no seed, and I said, "You know what? I'm doing it." And I just trained, and I said, lost all that weight, got down. And I come down to Super Grands, and I've just approached it with a whole nother attitude that I'm going to do my absolute best. And I know what my best is now because I have a standard. And guess what? I have completed that standard over 1,000 times now. I have a standard, baby. And I always consistently raise that standard. So I go to Super Grands, I wild card, and make it to stage. And you know what? The emotion to making it to stage for me was it was like I wasn't very emotional about it because I knew I came there to do a job and I did that job. And but I think it was a little bit bigger deal because I had wild carded and we had a very good division, and it was me against Tim, just me and Tim again. And so I wasn't really concerned over it. I went back to my hotel room, and the day of me competing, I slept like a baby. And I remember before I went downstairs, my dad called me, and my parents were always a big part of my life. They've always believed in me. They believed in me when I said I was going to open my own karate school. Anything I ever said, they believed in me and pushed me to it. And they held me accountable, and they always held me accountable by my word. So my dad called me. He said, "Son, you going up there, right?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "All right, well, let's pray." And, we prayed, and we always prayed before I compete. My dad's just kind of like my thing and his thing. And I said, "All right, God," I said, "I'm going up there." I said, "But I'm not going up there to beat this man. I'm going up there to beat me." And I said, "Just give me the strength to beat myself consistently again." And I remember getting ready to go out there and compete. I didn't have any of the nerves or any of the pressure that I'd ever had before in my life. And like I said, I had been on stage many, many, many times before. And I went up there and I did my form. And I finished my form. And I come off stage and I looked Edwin in the eye and I said, "Dude, that was the easiest form I've ever done in my whole entire life." And I said, it was perfect. I said, I knew it was perfect. There was no mistakes in it. There was nothing in it. There was not one mistake in it. And he looked at me and goes, "That's the best form I've ever seen you do in my whole life, Yule, ever." And I didn't even care because I knew I'd met my standard and I'd beat myself. And I went on stage and I said, "All right, well, let's see how it goes. Here comes the politics, baby." And I won. And when I won, I lost it. I lost everything I had on me. And because, I'd had so much disappointment before and everything. But in that moment when I won, I learned that all I had to do was beat myself and I'd be successful. And I came on stage, I called my mom, and she answered the phone. I just started crying. I was like, "Mama," I said, "I won." I said, "I won." And that was a big deal for our family. That was a big deal for me. And because of that experience in my life and that lesson that I learned in my life, that has taken me to absolute levels in my life that I never thought I'd actually reach. Again, nobody is ever supposed to just be second place. Ever. Anybody and everybody can be first place, but it requires the work, the sacrifice, the dedication. And here's the thing, when I settled for that second place, do you know, that was so disrespectful to me, because for years I drove 3 hours every Saturday morning to train all day, to come back home and repeat. There were times I came back, I was broke. I had just enough money for gas to get there and back, and didn't have money for food. And that was so disrespectful when I settled on that second place. For all those hardships that I'd been through, all those hard times, all those sacrifices, everything I'd given up in my life, I settled. And I learned that, and then, that process that I went through was, again, I think, like I said, the 2015, I call it it was definitely my golden year, because it was a year that I had to make some choices in my life, and I made good choices. I ended up making good choices, and I believe that the Lord blessed me because I made those choices. He blessed me with like the discernment and the knowledge of how to be successful, just learning to beat myself. So after that, I knew how to win. That was the thing. Like, I knew how to win. And so I went to Jeff Doss's tournament, and my best friend Seth, we've been friends forever, and Seth would spank me back in the day. He spanked me left and right, upside down, turned me around, threw me out like a rag doll, spanked me in forms. And he came back, he said, I'm going to compete you. I'm coming. I'm going to win grands. And in my head, I said, all right, dog, you my best friend, but I just keep my mouth shut because I'm going to smoke you. I know how to win. I know how to win. And I didn't train to beat him. I trained to beat me. I came there, and he had actually a higher difficulty than me. And I chose not to throw my higher difficulty that night because I said, you know what, I'm proving to myself that I can beat me. And I did. My form was stronger, it was cleaner, it was more professional, it was better done. And I knew that, and I knew I just had to beat myself, and I won that night. And carried on. I ended up going to Doug's that year. I got married the weekend before Doug's, went to Doug's and competed, won grands with the same method. Beat myself. And I was, a cool story too was 2016, like for years I'd worked a couple jobs and ran a karate school. I worked one job for a very long time and ran my karate school at night. And so I won that world title at the end of 2015. Come back home. I set a goal. I said, you got to beat yourself. You're going to be a full-time instructor by the end of this year. And by June 2016, I was full-time in my martial arts school. Full-time. And I set another goal after 2016. I won another world title in 2016. But I set a goal, and I said, all right, I got to move my karate school. I need a bigger location. And I had already decided that in 2016. Probably towards the end of 2016, I was like, okay, bigger location. So then by May 2016, I had already signed papers on a new location. And I was just having to beat myself. And it's a very hard job to beat yourself because we become comfortable, And I always tell people this one thing, and this is something I have learned, and I practice what I preach, and I have to. And I'm very tough on myself. I do not give myself any excuses. I'm the first person to look at myself and tell myself that I stink. I'm an awful person. I really am. I'm very critical of myself. Sometimes I'm overcritical, but because I don't want to be complacent, and I don't want to make an excuse and accept it again like I did. And I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to make an excuse. My knee's tore, I can't compete. It's an excuse. And so it's I'm very tough on myself about that. And I tell people, you know what? It's just really just being honest with yourself. When you're honest with yourself, you grow. And it's easy to become complacent because you'll be like, oh, well, you know what? just like on the business side, I make $5,000 a month. For example, I'm making $5,000 a month. That's great. That's great. And that standard stays there. And you don't ever raise that standard and say, all right, well, let's try to get maybe $8,000 a month. Because what happens is if you keep that standard at 5, it'll actually start to go down. Hit that standard and always raise your standard to be more successful. And I tell people martial arts and martial art competition is the best. It is the best because it will make you so successful in life. Because let me tell you, I could decide to go be a daggone neurosurgeon, and I'm not the smartest guy. But I can do it because I have to go beat me to do that. I can go beat me to do that. And I'm telling you, you can be anything, everything you want to be in your life. You can be so successful. And when I say success is not financial. I believe success is a lifestyle. That's why I treat martial arts. Martial arts is a lifestyle. Lifestyle. It's the way you live. It's the way you live. There are some people I know, and I'm going to be honest. There are some people I know, they got 24 world titles, and they're some of the most unsuccessful people. Because they're so caught up in winning. And they haven't realized that it's not about the win, it's about beating yourself. That's the win. A lot of people become conceited when they win and stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, humble. When you're humble when you lose, when you're humble when you win, you learn a lot more. Because sometimes you win and you didn't do the best form. And you know that. And when you're humble, you know, oh man, I got to go home and I got to fix that chamber because that chamber was not perfect. Or those fingers were apart and they weren't together. But when I have an ego, I go, well, I won. I'm the best dude in the room. I won. Yeah. And I don't criticize myself. I'm not honest with myself. So I'm not able to say, oh, well, I have a problem. My fingers are open. I need to put my fingers together. I need to tuck my thumb in, And same thing applies to life, So, I guess the thing that I tell people and my message from that experience is the biggest and the baddest dog in the room is you. It ain't the person you fighting. You know what? When you beat yourself when you spar. Because it takes guts to blitz off that line. It takes courage to, and that confidence to push off that line and hit them bang, bang. So that's how I get bang, bang. It takes courage. And the courage is beating yourself. That's how you beat people. Repetition is everything. I tell people all the time. Consistent, high standard repetition is everything. And beating yourself, setting that standard to say, you know what, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to do 1,000 leg kicks or wall kicks today. I'm going to do that. Why? Because you know what? I want to be better. And I know, doing 1,000 is going to make me good. And they're going to be correct. Or you know what? I'm going to do 50 perfect ones. And I'm going to do it because I want to beat myself and I want it to be better. And same thing when it comes to like life. I tell kids all the time, school, same thing. School, you know what? I'm going to discipline myself and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to beat myself in this math project and I'm going to do the best job and I'm going to raise its standard. Adults, I tell adults all the time, I have a really cool adult program. I don't care if you're 50 years old. I don't care if you're 80 years old. You can change your life today. You can go beat yourself. You can go beat yourself. You know what? I'm going to start something and I'm going to raise my standard. This is my standard and I'm going to meet that standard and I'm going to beat that standard. Because the biggest issue we have in life today is we don't have standards. We don't have standards at all. Everybody's a winner. Everybody's accepted. We don't have any standards. I'm all for a kid getting a certificate that says they were part of a team. Okay? Because you were part of a team. But I am not for kids or adults or anybody that gets the exact same thing. And you got Johnny over here put all this effort in, and you got little Johnny over here that didn't put no effort in. I call it a welfare life or welfare championship. And no disrespect to anybody that's on that, but that's, you're accepting it. You're accepting that second place. You're accepting that lower standard in life. And so I tell people, I'm very passionate about it, and I'm actually a kind of a quiet person, but when I talk about this, I'm very very, very passionate about it because I know what it did for me. I know what it changed my life. And I know what it can do for you. I know what it can do for the person that listens to this. It can take you to another level that you've never been on in your whole entire life. You set that goal. You know, we used to say this on my team. We said, don't let your dreams be dreams. And don't let your dreams be dreams. Push it. You got to, you know, some people, I'm happy with this small. Find something and make it a little bit bigger. Make it a little bit bigger, you know. So just believe in yourself and discipline yourself. Put that effort in and train to beat yourself, and you become the biggest champion in the world. It might take you a lot of losses. You might lose and get 14 second places before you ever get that one. Because I can tell you what, I have a box, and I'm not lying, I have a box of second place NBL belts. I have so many second place trophies. Fourth place, third place, I have a box of that. But I appreciate them. And you know, if there's ever a time in my life when I ever get a little down, because we all do, we're human, and that's okay. I go back to this thing right here, and actually, I try actually keep it with me a lot. I go back to this thing, and I just look at it, and I go, you know what? I remember what I had to do to get this. I remember exactly what I had to do to get this, and I like it. You know, it's just a possession, but this changed this, because this is what got me this, because I learned to beat myself. So you learn to beat yourself, you'll be so successful in life. Take that mentality, put in your training, and you're going to be the bomb.com. Keep working, guys. Again, like I said, I'm sorry it took so long to get this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. Keep training, keep working hard. Have a great day.